Hey, everybody, thanks for joining. We're just going to wait just a few moments for others to join because we know we have a few more people joining. So let's just give it a minute and then we'll officially get started. But thanks for joining. Look forward to showing you this webinar. Okay. One more second. Okay, cool. I think we can start and people will trickle in as they come. Okay, great. Hi, I'm Kevin Bartley, head of content at Rivery. Thanks for attending our latest webinar, Marketing APIs 2021 version benchmarks and best practices. In this webinar, we're going to show how to best structure, automate, and orchestrate marketing data and look at exclusive anonymized data about how our customers are using these marketing APIs. Just a heads up, the webinar will be recorded. We'll follow up with you with a link afterwards. And we're also going to do a Q&A session at the end. So if you have questions, there's a Q&A panel on your toolbar. Please type your questions in and we will answer them at the end of the webinar. And today I'm going to be joined by Alex Rolnick. He's one of our solutions architects at Rivery, and he's going to give you a technical walkthrough for some of the key marketing APIs here. So just to give you a little bit about Rivery first, our story is we left behind the world of BI consulting to help companies reach the full potential of their data by building a modern ELT platform for everyone. Our motto and our ethos is winning with data. It guides everything that we do. We want to build, a platform that helps our customers win in all capacities, let them leverage data so that they can win in all of their endeavors. So what's the problem that we're trying to solve? The problem for today's companies, whether you're an enterprise or a startup, it's not just the data volume. It's also data access throughout the organization, getting access to the right data to the right people at the right time. So basically what that looks like is, companies have trouble adding data sources at scale. It's hard to scale up and add more data sources. And even when they can, the lack of data engineering resources means that data can't be formatted for or delivered to the business users who need it. The result is data deprivation throughout the organization. And that leaves the company at a competitive disadvantage. So that's where Rivery comes in as the full stack data platform. Rivery is designed to turn business users into data engineers and data engineers into rock stars. So what does that mean? It means with Rivery's plug and play data connectors and no code transformations, business users can access the data they need in the format they need it whenever they want. At the same time, the data engineers who used to be overworked and overloaded, they can use Rivery to eliminate all those manual pipeline tasks, manual pipeline construction, automate annoying tasks, and leverage advanced features such as reverse ETL, CI/CD, and environments. So what this means is with Rivery, business users always have access to the data that they need, and data engineers can focus on the big projects that will get them promoted. So it's a win-win all around for both IT and business users. Okay, now that we had an intro to Rivery, I want to dive in here and talk about the state of marketing APIs in 2021, sort of where we're at. So at the beginning of 2020, COVID unleashed a wave of unprecedented digital acceleration. In fact, we've never seen anything like it in terms of digitization. According to McKinsey, consumers actually crammed 5 years of digital adoption into the first 8 weeks of the COVID crisis. So, within that 8-week span, we jumped ahead 5 years digitally. During the pandemic, 62% of American consumers increased online shopping. And these are just one of many data points that show how, COVID rapidly accelerated a trend that was already well underway, which was a move towards digital marketing channels. And that means that, marketing APIs became more important than ever for businesses. Now, as always, we always have the rise of new data sources and new digital marketing channels. So, these new digital marketing channels continue to emerge year after year, making it harder for data teams to stay on top of all the new data sources. So case in point, TikTok in particular has really taken off since 2020. It's actually, right now, it stands at about 1.1 billion users, and it's rapidly eating into market share some of the other social platforms. And now you see marketers saying, some 20% of marketers saying they need to increase advertising on TikTok because they know that's where the new demographic is, and that's especially where young people are. So what that means is data teams need to maintain a scalable and dynamic process for implementing new marketing APIs. So when these new data sources come up, which they inevitably do, and they happen almost overnight sometimes, it seems, you need that sort of scalable, dynamic process for implementing those marketing APIs, because the market and the needs of business users are always changing fast. This is a big one. Apple's iOS 14, it generated a lot of well-earned freakout last year at agencies or just anybody who's in a digital marketing channel. iOS 14, basically the short of it is that they introduced something called app tracking transparency. And what that means is it prevents mobile apps from tracking users across apps without their consent. And that's a huge deal because that was one of the key pillars of digital advertising. So basically, throughout the year, ad platforms frantically updated their APIs to incorporate Apple's SK Network API, which was kind of a substitute. It wasn't a full substitute, but it was kind of enough for people to sort of say, hey, if this is what we're getting, then we need to take it. And that led to a tsunami of API updates. And for data teams that made these changes manually, that's definitely what it felt like. It felt like a tsunami, and not every API could be updated. And as a result, teams lost visibility into their digital marketing channels. So all of these broader trends, sort of contribute to a dilemma, which is the constant marketing API updates. Things are always changing, new sources are being added, sources are being updated, and it's quite a workload to stay on top of. And we actually we were just curious. So in our data developers guide for marketing APIs, we went back and actually counted since 2020. If you look at the top 5 most updated APIs out of the most popular, you see that they're updated a combined 125 times. And that's just those 5 APIs. Some of them were big changes, some of them were small, but the point is, if you're a data engineer or if you're just any kind of team trying to keep up with these changes, it's just not possible. So there's no way you're accessing all the data you need. Now, on the other hand, data teams that rely on ELT platforms with versioning updates didn't experience those pipeline breakages. So all those API changes were made updated automatically. So it's just something to keep in mind. So looking at our, like I just said, the marketing API version benchmarks 2021, all of these insights are taken from our new ebook, the Developer's Reference Guide to Marketing APIs. And what we did here, just to give you a sense of the methodology for the benchmark report, we actually measured how teams use marketing APIs by leveraging anonymized data from our global customer base, which is composed of hundreds of companies in dozens of sectors. So we got a pretty broad and representative sample size. And I'm going to share the data with you, but I just want to kind of give you a heads up about what some of these terms mean. For when we say most popular APIs, what we're talking about is ranked by the number of Rivery accounts using an API. So the API, with the most accounts using it, is going to be the most popular. That's how we judge that. Most data usage is ranked by the all-time data throughput for an API. So that's over, the entire lifespan of it being in our platform. And most frequently pulled is ranked by average API data pulls per day. So let me just show you here in terms of most popular marketing APIs. So this is what it came out with. Facebook ads came in at number 1, Google AdWords 2, Google Ads at 3, Bing at 4, and LinkedIn ads at 5. Now to sort of dig into it there, it's kind of amazing that, you know, at position number 1, you know, with everything that's going on with their platform, Facebook ads still more than doubles the next closest API in terms of that popularity metric. But there's also a reason for that, and that's, you know, Google's right now sort of juggling between all these different APIs, which skews the ranking. You know, you have the AdWords API, which is sunsetting in 2022. So Google Ads will likely absorb those users, and we'll see maybe more parity between the Google API and Facebook ads when that happens. Being in position 4 is somewhat surprising. I mean, you know, people, maybe it's not that surprising, but it's always interesting to see, you know, to remember that, you know, Bing only has 2% of the search market, but the search market is gigantic, billions and billions of people. So that comes out to about 63 million users that Google isn't reaching, which is a sizable, you know, population. And the big kicker is that cost per click on Bing is actually 70% less than AdWords. So you can see why marketers who might want a cheap and cost-effective alternative to AdWords would turn to Bing. LinkedIn rounds out the top 5. LinkedIn saw ad reach grow by about 25 million in Q4 2020. So they're gaining and growing strong. Okay, so for most data usage by API, again, Facebook ads number 1, Google AdWords number 2, Kochava number 3, Taboola number 4, and Twitter ads number 5. And just to dig into these, again, Facebook claims position 1. That's not really a surprise. You know, considering that 4 out of the 5 most popular reports are held by Facebook, by the Facebook ads API. Something that I thought was really interesting was Google AdWords has a 569% higher data usage than Google Ads. So I kind of, you know, was looking into that, and we were thinking about why. And it looks like to us that companies have integrated Google Ads, and they're drawing some data from it, but the vast majority of our customers are still using AdWords, and it looks like they might continue using it up until it officially sunsets. So I thought that was an interesting observation. Taboola, you know, that's the case with that is that we had a few users who were just using it really heavily. So maybe there's something to be said about the user base there. And then Twitter ads, you know, lots of users with moderate usage to sort of round out the top 5. All right, so our last sort of category here for the benchmark report was the most frequently pulled APIs. So this was an eclectic mix. We were not expecting a lot of these. We learned a lot by seeing these results. And what we found was Klaviyo was in number 1, Google Play number 2, TikTok 3, Facebook Social 4, Snapchat ads 5. And when you actually look at, you know, some of get more granular with what's actually happening, you can see that there are specific reports in these APIs that are being pulled very frequently. Klaviyo users, for instance, need to frequently refresh data to generate conversions. So a lot of our customers are constantly using the events report in Klaviyo, which is boosting the overall, you know, pull frequency for the API. Another interesting one, Google Play at position 2. A handful of accounts are using Google Play's ag report very frequently, which again is skewing that API level result. And TikTok vaulted to position 3. The ad groups report is actually the second most frequently pulled report across all of those all the APIs. And rounding it out with Snapchat, we found that was driven by ad stats and ad squad stats report. So there are a lot of interesting findings here, and I encourage you, Alex is going to send out our developer guide for marketing APIs right now. So if you want to download it, just follow the link and you can get more insights into our benchmark report there. Okay, so marketing APIs, what are some of the challenges for data teams? One of the big problems is that teams must implement data models. So in order to pull, structure, and use data from marketing APIs, teams have to build, deploy, and maintain those data models. And a lot of times they don't have the resources to do that, or they don't have the technical skills. And that leads to, big problems. And so when you're actually building out that data model, what is the data infrastructure you're talking about? Well, first you need the API connectors for each data source to extract raw marketing data. And those connectors take a lot of expertise and time to build. Most teams don't have time to do it on their own. If they do, they're outsourcing it to engineers who are already overworked. So a lot of the times they're not getting their data on time. You also need the orchestration to deliver the data to the right stakeholder. And then finally, you need the logic and transformation to format that raw data for usage according to best practices. And the best practices are key. We're going to touch on that in a minute when Alex goes over his demo. But basically, all of these combined are sort of the integrated, data model, the integrated data infrastructure that you need to realize the full data model. And just to sort of give you a sense of, what the challenges are with these, building out these data models, bucketing it by technical and non-technical teams. You have a non-technical team. It might include data analysts, citizen data engineers, and business users. And some of the key problems that they encounter when they're trying to, build out data models, if they can, is a lack of technical expertise to build out the model and the data infrastructure. They can't maintain the model long-term. Inevitably, they encounter subpar data. And as a result, they end up losing, initiatives and deals because they're still struggling with getting the data that they need on time, even if they're getting a rudimentary model up, or they still can't get their conversions and finish their initiatives on time. On the other hand, a technical team might consist of, let's say, data engineers, data scientists, data modelers. And when they're building and deploying data models, either for those business users we just talked about or for themselves, they struggle with more of a lack of resources, limited time, a need to focus on more important and pressing tasks. And then maintenance, which is a big one, which we've just been talking about in terms of the API updates and all of the issues that follow with that. So now I've set the stage here, and I'm going to turn it over to Alex so he can show you how to launch instant data models to sort of bypass this whole process with Rivery Kits. And so I'll turn it over to Alex now.
Thanks, Kevin. Hey, everyone. My name is Alex Rolnick. I am a solutions architect at Rivery, and I build out solutions within the tool to help reduce the time to value for our clients. So as Kevin was saying, from Rivery's point of view, we believe that these pre-built data models will be the next essential tool in the ETL, ELT industry, because it's no longer about instant data, it's now about instant insights. So these pre-built data models that we're talking about are called kits within the Rivery platform. And this is just a quick view of what the kit console looks like within the platform, which I'll show you all soon in the demo. So before we dive into that demo, what is a kit? Kits are fully built data models that include everything you need to create this ELT pipeline instantly. They include data capture and ingestion from a single source or multiple sources. They push data to your data warehouse, create destination tables with metadata. You're able to do transformation and prepping of the data, and then you're able to schedule it to make automation seamless. We also build these kits with the most common use cases that we see from our customers. So it should be industry standard for these marketing kits. Now, you might ask yourself, why kits? And these are the four main reasons we push kits to our clients, because they generate instant insights. So the clients can act on business insights immediately. They're industry best practice, what I was saying before, where we pull in the most used, most common metrics across the different kits. There's no maintenance involved. Rivery is doing the API updates on the back end, like Kevin was talking about earlier, and anyone can use a kit. It's very seamless, very easy, and I will show you all a quick demo of that in a bit. And then right before our demo, I just wanted to show this one slide, which is pretty much everything you need in the data pipeline, which is all set up for you within a kit. It shows the data coming through the API sources, going through transformation and orchestration within the data warehouse. And then there's even kits that we call reverse ETL kits, which push data from your data warehouse to an API source, like for instance, Tableau. And with that being said, I think that we can move to our live demo portion. So right now you're seeing the Rivery home webpage. If you've ever gone here, you can see that they have a kit section up top, which we call our Kit Hub. And this is a great way to search any types of kits that you want to see, whether it's, a Facebook kit, a full marketing kit, whatever type of source API you want to see. You can search here to see the kit. You can preview it or click use, and it'll download to your Rivery account. So one thing I wanted to show you now is the actual kit hub within the Rivery platform. So here you can see that we have a number of kits like we were showing on our Kit Hub, but this is within our account. And to get here, you want to just click on this kits link up top, and it'll bring you to this homepage. I'm going to go through a quick demo of how to actually start using kits. And show you all how easy it is to download this instant pipeline and start using it and gaining insights from it immediately. So we're going to use Facebook ads as an example because this is our most used kit right now. So what you can see is a short description here of the kit. If you want to see a longer one, you go into the preview where you can see the description, what entity reports are pulled with the kit. You can see how to configure the variables within the Rivery platform and how to add connections, and then as well as the data model and the data flow of how it goes from the source API to the data warehouse, adding the logic to your large fact or metrics table where you can start analyzing the data. When you finally know that you want to use this kit, you click Use Kit, and it'll bring you to a connections portal where you can add in any connections you have already or create new ones. So you would drop the down arrows and then click Next, and that'll then push your, it'll push the rivers within this kit to your account, and we'll send you a view something like this. So now you can see that we have 6 entities from the Facebook ad source, as well as a master logic river. The master logic river is basically what we wanted to show you guys, just so that you can see how everything looks in Rivery and how the data is pulled. So this logic river orchestrates a couple different API sources, API entities. And then it orchestrates that data within your data warehouse to create this Rivery Fact FB Ads performance table. So as you can see up here, we're pulling the insights report, which is mostly just the Facebook metrics. We're pulling ad creatives attributes. We're pulling ad sets attributes, ads, campaigns, and ad accounts. Within this transformation, you can see our SQL logic here, which is very important in this kit, because what Facebook does when they send data through their API source is they give it to us unstructured. So what Rivery did was give you guys the SQL that you need to structure the data into a data warehouse table. So this should be the exact SQL you need to take all of the metrics within the insights report. And we added the creative IDs as well as some other attribute IDs such as campaign, ad sets, ads. So if you wanted to look closely into what the kit data orchestration looks like, this is where you would go. So once you're ready to run the kit, you can either go to your scheduling area, which is in the settings and schedule. You could say schedule me. We can do it by minutes, hours, monthly, whatever you want. And then we could add different notifications for on failure, on warnings, on runtimes. So you can have alerts come to you if anything fails. But once you're ready to run, what you do is you go to this master logic river and select run. For time purposes on the webinar, I already ran this earlier today and want to show you what it looks like within our data warehouse. So this is Rivery's Facebook ads data using the kit to pull it into our data warehouse. As you can see, it's got all these attributes, and then starts the metrics like clicks, reach, CPC, all of these metrics going far, far to the right. So we have a lot of insights from our Facebook ads kit. Now, while I'm showing you this, I can also show you a new kit that we've developed called the Tableau Refresh Kit. This is a really cool kit, one of my favorites, and it is considered a reverse ETL kit because it pulls data from your data warehouse into an API source. And for instance, this API source is Tableau. So what you can do here is you can take this kit, download it to your Rivery platform, or to your Rivery account, doing the same way that we did with the Facebook ads kit. Add a connection here, and then click next. It'll download the kit to your account. After reading the directions for the kit, you can actually run the master logic river for this refresh data source logic. Basically, what it does is it'll take the data from your data warehouse and refresh the Tableau data source that runs on that table. So for instance, in our data warehouse, we have this Rivery Fact FB ads performance table. And we also have a Tableau data source that runs on top of this table. So what this kit will do is update that table within Tableau with the newest data that's been added to the Snowflake account. And once you run it, then you can go over to your Tableau data source and see that this has now been, new dates have been added to the bottom of this. So what we were saying before from Kevin's part and my previous slides were that these kits allow you to gain instant insights from your API sources all the way through to your business intelligence tool. And it's easy for any non-technical or technical person to use. I wanted to talk further about some kits just because we have a number of great ones to use within the Rivery platform, and we are constantly coming up with more. But for marketing purposes, we have our TikTok kits, which go to Snowflake or BigQuery. We have our marketing B2c kit, which I'll talk about in a second. We have Facebook ads to BigQuery, to Redshift, to Snowflake. We have Twitter ads. So we have a number of these marketing kits, and we're going to constantly come out with more. We have Snapchat ads, Google ads, and LinkedIn ads coming out within the next month. So definitely look out for those. And we have even more kits that don't fully deal with the marketing platform, but are very actively used within the Rivery platform, like our Google Analytics kit. But going back to our marketing B2C kit, I wanted to talk about this one because this is what we call a use case kit, where it pulls more than just one API source into your data warehouse. Now, from the top, you can see that it integrates with Facebook ads, Snapchat marketing, and Twitter ads, and pulls all of that data into your Snowflake database. We also have the same kit for Google BigQuery. Now, looking at the preview, we can understand that it pulls in data from these three sources and then orchestrates it into a single facts table where you can analyze all of this data from the three sources together. So it saves a bunch of time from pulling from different data sources, trying to get it to come together in one data source, and then being able to analyze it all at the same time. So the good thing about this is that we can see down here the data model for this kit. You can see that we have here our ad account table, our campaign table, our ad group table, and our ad table, all pushing to this one major facts table where we can see all of these important metrics coming down here, where we took the industry standard metrics across all of the marketing platforms that we are using in this kit. So this is also what we were saying before, Kevin and I, where we wanted to take the most common use cases and put them into a kit so that they can help the general population of marketing analytics. And then I'm just going to download this kit to show you kind of what the rivers look like. So again, once you click use kit, it'll come to this connections portal where you can select different connections, or you can just skip and go into your platform and see what rivers were downloaded. So now we can see that there have been 17 rivers downloaded, where 5 of them are from Twitter, 5 of them are from Facebook, 5 from Snapchat, and then a master river. So I'm going to go into this master logic river where all of the single source to data warehouse rivers exist. So all of these basically show this Twitter promoted tweets entity being pulled into the data warehouse, as well as this tweet stats. All of these different rivers are just single entity API sources being pulled into your data warehouse. And then what happens down here is we can see that in the SQL logic, we can see that it pulls from this table these attributes of the ad accounts, and then it pulls from Twitter ad accounts table and adds it to this table. It pulls from Snapchat and does the same thing. So it creates a uniform ad account table for 3 different sources. It does the same thing for the campaign, ad group, and ad dimension tables. And then in your fact ad performance table, we look down and we can see this is a much larger SQL query, but it pulls all of the metrics as well as some of the attributes into a single table. So you can analyze these three sources all at the same time in the same table. Cool. So yeah, so that kind of concludes our demo for today. I think that we have a few more slides. Yeah, so what I did want to talk about again, how the teams benefit from Rivery, the non-technical teams versus the technical teams. So for non-technical teams, there's no need for data engineers. There's no limits on data access, and you can start using this immediately to win more opportunities and deals. For the technical team, this benefits them by saving them time to focus on more critical tasks that are coming up. It helps them get up and running faster within the tool, and it helps the technical team implement best practices within the Rivery platform. And then why Rivery? We think that everyone can be a data engineer, and you can make your data engineers superstars using this tool. So Kevin and I really appreciate you guys coming today. We will now open the floor to any questions or comments. Please use the QA portal.
Thanks, Alex. Yeah, we actually have some really good questions lined up already. I just wanted to share some of them with you. It looks like we have enough time to answer a few of them. One is, can I create custom kits? Can I create my own kit? Can I create custom kits?
So at the moment, we're not allowing our clients to create custom kits. We do have a kit request process where you can request a type of kit, whether it's a single source to target, a use case, anything with actions. You can request it, and we can talk about it. And then if it's a good opportunity for a kit to be created, we can start creating it. But right now we don't have the kit community aspect, but we're looking to start that sometime soon.
Great. And another one is in a similar vein. Can you modify a kit? Once you launch a kit, can you modify the rivers and everything in it?
Yeah, you definitely can. So this is one thing that's really cool about kits in general is when you download the kit, you can get all of the rivers into your Rivery account and look at how it was built, what metrics are being pulled, what fields are being pulled. So if you wanted to add some fields, remove some fields, change up the orchestration, you can definitely do that within your logic orchestration or the entity rivers. And we definitely encourage it, but it might create it might create a couple errors just if it's not fully incorporated throughout the whole kit. So don't be afraid to ask a Rivery solutions engineer for help, or email me.
Cool. Another one that we got was in the vein of what we were talking about with the API updates. What about API updates? Are those automatic with kits like they are with our other pipelines? And
yeah, so the API updates should be automatic with kits because we update them at the source level. So whatever source is in the kit, it should be updated when the API updates. If there is, however, an update to one of the entity reports, that might have to change within your own river, but it would be a simple change like just recalibrating the column mappings, which is pretty easy to do. Just go to the column mappings tab on the top, clear out the column mappings and re-add.
Great. It looks like we have maybe a few more here. Just a general sense, someone asked, how long does it take to launch a kit?
So it shouldn't take any more than about 45 minutes. That's, downloading the kit, adding the connections, adding the variables, looking over the rivers, and then scheduling it.
Awesome. Let me see, what else do we have here? We talked about building your own kits. I think, there was one, what kits do we plan do we have any kits planned for the near future that you can talk about?
Yeah, definitely. So we have a number of kits coming out. A couple of them I could talk about, or a couple of them I mentioned earlier. So, the Snapchat ads, the LinkedIn ads, and Google ads we're coming out with soon. And then we're also re-engineering our marketing B2c kit to make it more modular. So you can, turn off some sources that you don't have, or use, more sources than what we already have. So for instance, our marketing B2c kit right now only allows you to use it if you have Facebook ads, Snapchat ads, and the third one, which I cannot think about right now. Twitter, sorry. Right. Facebook, Snapchat, and Twitter. If you have all three of those, you can use it. But if you don't have one of those, it doesn't work. As well as, if you have TikTok as well and you want to add that, we don't have a way to add that to the marketing B2C yet, but we're coming out within the next, couple of weeks, a new marketing B2C kit, which will allow you to have 6 different sources and allow you to turn them off if you don't have 1 or 2 of them. Beyond that, we're also developing some partner kits. So we're partnering with a couple clients on developing kits that'll not only the client will use Rivery, but we'll also use the partners tool as well. So look out for messaging on that in the coming months. But yeah, those are the main kits I wanted to talk about.
Awesome. I think we do have a few more here, but we're gonna, to everybody who asked a question that didn't get answered, we're actually gonna reach out to you after this because we want to stick to the schedule. So we'll reach out to you with the answers after this. But yeah, so I just wanted to say thanks to everybody for coming. We hope you learned a lot. As always, we're available, if you have any more questions or want to follow up, any questions about kits or just marketing APIs in general, we're happy to answer them. So yeah, so keep your eye out. If you want to download the developer's guide to marketing APIs, Alex is going to send that out with a follow-up email. And also we're going to send out a recording of this in the coming days. So keep your eye out for that. And yeah, reach out to us if you have any more questions. But thanks for coming. And we hope to talk to you soon. Thank you.